Hello everybody, my name is Jonathan and welcome to Barely Unboxed. We're back with another Halloween themed video, and today I'm dressed as... I was going for a demon. I don't know how good it looks. I will say the images in my head do not match what I ended up with, so forgive the costume if it's weird looking. But today we are looking at this Spawn figure. This is King Spawn, and he comes with demon minions, so I dressed as a demon. I really love Spawn, and I know there's some other people out there who might also love Spawn. Maybe, hopefully, some new subscribers, some new viewers. Because I don't just do dolls, which you may see behind me. You may think, oh, that's a lot of dolls, but I love action figures just as equally, and I have a lot. You just can't see them behind me. They're kind of off camera. So anyway, we also have a look at a really old figure of Angela, which is also from Spawn. We have two different Angelas. This is very interesting. So, Angela was originally a Spawn character in the Spawn comic books back in the 90s. I had this action figure of her. It's Todd McFarlane's Spawn, and comes with a trading card. And here's the barcode, although this is very old. It has the instructions on the bottom. And there's some of the other figures that were in the line. I think I also had this Spawn. I know I had the medieval Spawn and the Angela. And I had a lot of old figures later on in the series, but this was like the original kind of first series. So Angela started out as basically an angel that hunts down spawns, which are demons. That's kind of the easy explanation of it. And apparently this character was created by Neil Gaiman. And so he kind of had the rights to her because the way Image Comics worked, which is what Spawn was in, it was a company founded by lots of artists that left DC and Marvel and created their own company. Even though she started out in the Spawn comic books, she actually was owned by Neil Gaiman and given to Marvel Comics. And this is her Marvel Legends figure. And she was featured in the Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon a few years ago. I just watched through that, and I really wanted to get this figure of her. So you can kind of see here, it says a master of hand-to-hand combat. Angela is known throughout the galaxy for her battle prowess. So it doesn't even talk about her being an angel. I think in this incarnation of her, she's actually Thor's sister, long-lost sister, and she returns. I read a lot of the Marvel Angela comics, and they were so good. She's basically an LGBT character, so that's a plus for me. So it's kind of interesting. So we're going to compare the two different versions of her today, as well as looking at this King Spawn figure. So I think we'll open the Angelas first, actually, and then we'll look at King Spawn. So he can just hang out here in the back as I knock my candle off the table. All right, so we're going to start with this Spawn figure of Angela. And I absolutely loved this figure. I got this when I was a kid. I remember finding it at a Woolworth. I remember I begged my mom to buy it for me. Now you can see the plastic on this has yellowed tremendously, but if you get her out of here, she should be in pretty good, like new condition. So I'm very excited about that. All right, so here she is right out of her vintage packaging, and she looks amazing. I love the design of this character. She has the angel wing headdress with Spawn emblems, and I believe in the story she would collect Spawn emblems from spawns that she has vanquished, basically. So she's pretty cool. She has a scabbard that her sword can go into, which there's a little tape on that. So you can put the sword in there, or she can hold it in this hand. I love that. And then she has head articulation from side to side. It doesn't move very much because of her hair. She does have elbow articulation and arm articulation, but her arms only go up and down, and the elbows only go up and down. No hand articulation. This is like old school action figures, you know. So she also has leg articulation up and down, and knee that just bends at a 90-degree angle. So not a lot of articulation, but she does come with this awesome staff, and basically it shoots this out. Well, let's see if we can get it to shoot. Come on. It is an old toy, so does not. Oh wait, there we go. There we go. We got it. It's just a little tricky the way it works. So that she can hold with this kind of open hand, if I remember right. That's how I used to have shelves and shelves of action figures in my bedroom when I was a kid. Not much different from being an adult, honestly. And I used to just pose her holding this staff. Now let's see if we can get her to stand with it. There we go. Very cool. I'm very happy to have her as part of my collection again. I got rid of all my action figures at some point when I was moving out of my parents' house, and at one point I moved clear across country, and I left a lot of things at my parents', but unfortunately I did drop off all my action figures at the local Goodwill, except for a very select few. So I cannot get her to stand up. So we'll just put that down. So anyway, I'm very disappointed that I did that. I had so many cool figures. I had a lot of the original Spawn figures and just Todd McFarlane figures in general. So here is this Guardians of the Galaxy one. Here's the barcode for her. I showed you the one for the other Angela. This was part of this Titus Build-A-Figure. Titus was also featured in the Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon, as well as all the characters here. You also have movie versions of Drax and Star-Lord and Yondu. So there was a lot of different characters. This was the only one that I really wanted, although I will admit I would have loved to have built this figure, but I wasn't collecting these figures really back when this came out. So luckily I found this on eBay, and it was a very reasonable price. The same with this old Angela figure literally was like $6. This one was, I think, like 20 something, so it was like normal price, which I'm perfectly fine with. Let me show you the side artwork of her though. It's really cool. They did keep some of the same design for her, but she also is very different. So I'm really excited to compare these together. Cool little thing. The backdrop for where she was packaged is the Guardians of the Galaxy symbol. I love that. That's pretty cool. We'll save that maybe for pictures. And here is Angela. Now this figure is going to have a lot more articulation than the original old school one. She still has the scabbard that's pretty much in the same spot. It's attached to this skirt piece. And she has these cool ribbons. Those were actually featured in the comic books originally, but this figure of her never had them. I remember these ribbons very well. She could like control them and move them around to grab things and stuff. And I'm not really sure if it's like a telepathic thing or what. It's kind of interesting. So this figure has her head on a ball joint. It does turn not too bad as compared to the other one. She also has the upper chest joint so she can spin. That's basically her waist. She has the ball jointed shoulders, but they can't move very much because of these armor pieces right here. So she does have these pieces on her arm that kind of limit her mobility. I think that's actually supposed to go up there. So there we go. And then she also has the hand articulation, can turn and go up and down a bit. Her legs are also, she can do like the splits sort of. There's an upper thigh joint, and she has double jointed knees, and her feet can go up and down and swivel. So she's got a lot of articulation. She has a really cool face with like these markings next to her eyes. She still has the wing headdress. So let's bring these in and kind of compare them. Their eyes are definitely different, and their outfits are similar but very different. So it's kind of cool to see these next to each other, especially the sculpt on this Marvel figure of her hair is amazing. I love that. It's a very, very cool figure. So she also comes with a sword. Her sword is a little crooked. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that. I might try to put that in some hot water. If you drop that in some hot water, like boiling water or even a hair dryer, you might be able to bend that back. So she can hold the sword, obviously, but she can also put it in her scabbard like that. Now this one doesn't come with the staff, but she does come with two of these like axes. So you can put those in her hand. That's probably how I will display her, is holding these both of these axes, because the axes don't have a spot for her to hang them, I don't think, on her belt. So get these in here. So there she is holding her axes. Very cool. All right, and then she does come with a Build-A-Figure piece for Titus. So now I have his leg. If I ever want to build him, I have a whole like box, like a whole little tiny tote box full of Build-A-Figure parts that I just kind of hoard, and hopefully one day I'll get the rest of the figure parts. We'll see. Someday, maybe. So these figures are about the same height, but this Spawn figure is definitely a different kind of scale. Like, she's not on the same scale as this Marvel one. She's a little shorter. So I think this is cool. I might actually give this to her for some pictures. I think that would be really cool. Share the weapons. All right, so we're gonna put them back here, and now we're gonna take a look at this King Spawn. So it says it has 22 moving parts. I picked this up at Target recently, and it was on clearance for $35, and it's normally like a $50 figure. So I was really excited to find this. I really wanted to do a video on it, and I thought Halloween time is the perfect time for a demon spawn. Alright, so let me get this out of the box. I just want to point out, this comes with a really cool like backdrop that I might actually use to take some photos. I think that'll be a really cool photo op for all the figures at the end. So we'll put that behind them. So here it is right out of the box. So now I just got to get it out of here. So he comes with an array of guns. Like, that is crazy. I don't understand why he has so many guns. He does have a stand as well and a trading card. So here is King Spawn right out of his packaging. He has a really cool demonic face. Very cool. He has a crown of horns. It reminds me of Darth Maul from Star Wars. He has these really cool angel wings that are actually on like a ball joint, and they can spin around and you can kind of pose them. He has, oddly enough, he has a really nice butt. Like, okay. He has this cool arm guard with lots of spikes on it, chains, and the signature 1 foot being bigger than the other, which is actually really great for posability, although it doesn't go all the way down to the ground on the foot. He still has some articulations in his foot. So his head is on a ball joint. He does have a chest joint that can spin and go up and down. He has a ball jointed shoulder, which actually has kind of like this inside sleeve that helps with posability. He has a double jointed elbow. He has a hand that can spin and go up and down. Actually, it kind of goes side to side a bit. So same thing on the other arm. He does have also a bicep joint right here on both arms. He has upper leg joint that kind of goes out, so he can do the splits. He has a double jointed knee. He has the foot articulation, but he also has, I'll show you on this other foot, he has toe articulation, which is really cool. I love it when action figures have toe articulation. His foot does spin a bit and go up and down, so you can get some like dynamic poses with him. Looks like he's flying. It's very cool. I will definitely just be having him stand because I don't really have room to have a flying figure. As far as the figure stand, it just pegs into either foot, and then the other foot is kind of free form, so it just kind of goes wherever. You can get some really cool poses with him, but there he is. Here he is next to Angela. She's definitely a lot smaller because these newer figures are more in line with Marvel Legends. So definitely a different scale. As far as all his accessories, he comes with a plethora of guns, which is really weird. I don't remember King Spawn in the comics when I read them because I think he's sort of a newer character, but apparently he loves guns. so he can hold, I think, pretty much all these guns. Let's actually try it on this hand. So yeah, he can definitely hold that gun. They all have, this one has a trigger hand, so you can put his finger in the trigger like that. So apparently King Spawn, even though he has demonic powers, he needs guns. Crazy. So he has like a shotgun. He has like, I think this is a Gatling gun. It's crazy. Like an automatic rifle. I don't know guns. I'm not a big gun fan. So, I mean, these are kind of, I probably won't even have him holding guns in my display. I just like him for the demon look. So he also comes with these adorable little demons, which are creepy cute, I think. And they even have little butts. At least that one does. All right, and then those can just kind of pose around him. They don't have any posability as except for maybe the arms on this one. Looks like the arms on this one move, and that is it. But that's to help it pose and stand up. That one is really creepy. That one doesn't have a butt, really. So there's that one. And then we have this guy. He has posable arms, too. He's actually really cool. He has like a little tail. I like that. He kind of looks like a rhino. And even though he's creepy, I still find him kind of cute. I like that crazy face. And he even kind of has, well, he does have a butt. Yeah, so. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it when things have butts. It cracks me up. So here is the trading card. It has like a close-up of King Spawn. I'm going to go ahead and read this because I think it's really cool. I love like the origin of Spawn. So a government agent, Al Simmons, was killed by his own men. Resurrected from the depths of hell, he returns to Earth as the warrior Spawn, guarding the forgotten allies of New York City. As he seeks answers about his past, Spawn grapples with the dark forces that return him to Earth, battling enemies and discovering unlikely allies. As he learns to harness his extraordinary powers, he begins to grasp the full extent of what brought him back and what he left behind. And I know in the comics, from what I remember back when I read them in the 90s, is he would often visit his wife and his kid from a distance and watch them. And at one point, he's able to turn into a human using his powers, but he looks completely like a different person, so they don't even recognize who he is. So it's kind of a sad story and really just kind of a neat story all over. So anyway, there you have King Spawn and his demons. I love it. I love it so much. So I hope you enjoyed taking a look at these Spawn figures, as well as a Marvel Angela figure, because I just think it's really, I don't think there's ever been a time where a comic book character moved from one company to the other and kept the name and the overall look. I just think it's a really interesting story. I know there's a lot more to it, so if you want to read about it, I'll find a link and put it down below, but I'm not going to go into the full detail of it. So but yeah, really, these are just fun figures. I'm so glad to add them to my collection. I'm going to have her, I think, next to Thor in my collection. And I'm going to have this Angela with all my Spawn figures, just because it's like a history, you know. So I hope you enjoyed this. Again, thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments about the figures, I'd love to hear. Do you have any of these? Do you think they're creepy? Do you think they're cool? Also, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and hit that bell for notifications so you get notified every time I put up a new video. And like the video if you liked it, and also share it if you know someone who collects Spawn figures or loves the character of Angela especially too. So thank you guys again. Take care out there. Love you guys. Bye. Happy Halloween.